How I created an 8-figure business without a single cold call. Let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to the podcast Manifesting Big Money Fast. My name is Janine Hurd. I am so excited that you found this podcast or that you're tuning in to another episode. This podcast is all about manifestation, big money, energetics, spirituality, how it's all connected, and most importantly, how you can increase your bank account right now. So let's dive in today's episode. Big money lovers, welcome back to your all-time favorite podcast. I couldn't be more excited. Today's topic is actually about sales calls. I had a conversation with a very powerful female business owner, and she asked me, I'm currently doing sales calls. Should I do this? Should I continue? Should I stop? Like, what's your opinion? I see you don't do sales calls. Can you give me your insights? And I thought it's so powerful to come on to today's episode and actually talk about. I wish I would have recorded the conversation back then, but I didn't. So here I am recording this for you again. I deeply believe, and this is something I highly can recommend you, always to do a check-in if something feels aligned with you or not. So I am naturally, I don't want to say lazy. I'm very efficient. Like, I do the things I have to do. I do the things that move the needle in my business, but everything else, I don't see like value. I don't. So for me, always, I understood very, it's not true. I think I had in the beginning like 4 or 5 sales calls. Simply because everybody told me you gotta do sales calls, and then I'm like, next question, like, what am I gonna talk about? So I had a sales call, didn't work out, and then I thought, okay, I don't even know how to like really lean into this call, and I got a sales script, which I kind of didn't like, but it worked. I sold more with the script, and I think it's more because I simply felt more confident. And obviously there were some wise questions in there. And after probably after I sold my first 5 101 spots, I didn't do sales calls anymore. Simply because I was too lazy to do them. I thought, let me try this without a sales call. And I quickly realized and had obviously massive proof that people bought from me without sales calls, even my 101 up to 250,000 or $500,000 for a full year. This is what I would recommend you if you're doing sales calls and you really like it, go for it. It's going to work out for you. And there are a lot of people, especially my 4-line people in human design. If you have a 4-line on the conscious side, you're really this networker. You love to talk to people. For instance, my husband, he's a 4/6. Loves to talk to people in a business context. Like, he would be perfect for sales calls. If this is something he would be interested in, he would be truly striving and would be nurturing him. I'm on the other hand, I'm a 2/4 line. I have a 2-line on the conscious side. That means what makes me most happy is if I'm by myself, out in nature, not on my phone, not on my computer. So for me, sales calls, obviously I can do them. However, they don't nurture me. It pulls energy from me. And by now, I really set up my business. And this is something I'm always contemplating. If you're in the university and all the things for the full year, I share my monthly money practice with you. This is literally what I do. I go through my calendar as part of the monthly money practice. And I really check off and in Asana is my tool I use for my daily to-dos and for my team. We always check okay, out of all the tasks I did, is this nurturing me? Is this giving me energy? Is this pulling energy from me? And this is why the reason I'm not doing sales calls, and I stopped them very quickly, because they pulled energy from me. And I tried without, and it worked. Although many how would you say it? Salespeople contacted me always. Hey, are you looking for a closer? And I'm like, actually, no, I don't. And for me, the other part is I deeply believe Sorry, one thing, lost my thought. I wanted to finish the sentence. Sorry, before I move on to the next. That is, so talking to other closers that reached out to me, it really became about like, okay, this is a commission I desire to earn. And it's obviously all about selling as much as possible as many people. And for me, it's really based on alignment. Just because someone has the money, it doesn't mean you're a great fit for my programs. And just the other day, I told someone no for my one-on-one container. Just because you have the money, it doesn't make you a great fit for the container. And I think for me personally, I have very strong ethical values. Also saying no to people when you truly feel it's not the right fit. It's something powerful. And it's just not about the money, especially in close proximity. It has to be about the right fit in order to nurture you. Because I did too many masterminds where at the end, I kind of felt like, okay, this was very exhausting. I'm glad it's over. And these are the things I don't do anything. I just don't do them anymore. And I highly recommend you to build a business on your alignment. And that's why Unique is so powerful, because once you start to understand the basics, you can do your own deep dive afterwards and really see, this is my chart, these are my gifts. How are all those things showing up for me? And instead of looking at what's trending in the industry, you're looking like what's trending inside of me. And that changes everything, because now you're constantly waving on that frequency of authenticity. Now I forgot the other part I wanted to share with you by finishing this thought. Okay, I remember again. The other part is, for me, my ideal dream client is always a former version of me. And Janine, I just know what I want and I know what I don't want. You can't sell me into something anymore. That being said, many times I wanted to buy something, but I had to call someone. Like there was not the option just to book. You had to call even this, like the first person you talk to, then they decide if you qualify and then you can buy afterwards. I'm like, I don't have the time. Like I have the time, but I don't want to use my time for that. So my business is also set up in a way that it serves me like a former version of me, because she's my dream client. She knows what she wants. She just buys. If she has a question, she can lead herself to the customer support, ask the questions which are on her heart and soul. She receives the answer. She makes her own decision. And that also is something very powerful in my world. I'm not leading you. Like, yes, we're having conversations. Yes, we're meeting every Wednesday for mastermind conversations. But you are leading yourself. If you don't have a question, I'm not going to be the one that's reaching out. Oh, there's a room for you to ask questions. And why are you not doing this? Something I did in the past. I'm not your mom anymore. If you can't lead yourself, it sounds harsh, but it's too bad, because no one cares in the business world. This is a price you pay. What we can receive, the output is, the wildest exponential wealth, the wildest exponential impact. Just the fact that I can be sitting here, share my opinion, and other people are listening to it and it's impacting the world. Hallelujah, how genius is that? But the price I pay is I have to lead myself. No one of you is calling and sending me a message, oh, please, can you record the next podcast episode? It's like, I have to lead. I have to show up. And again, if you haven't been into She Leads, it is so powerful. This is really the foundation, the self-leadership foundation for every successful business owner, because it is not that you don't have the strategy or that you don't have the tools. This is just a minimal point that can be changed so quickly. But if you can't lead yourself, if you self-sabotage, if you start and quit on most of the things in your life, in your business, if you can't do like a long-term thinking, if you don't have a long-term vision and everything, it's like, I have to do this Instagram post, and if no one buys from now, this sucks. Always short-term, always short-term, always short-term. It's really the translation that you're stuck on number one of the 3-step moneymaker approach. This is how to make more money. how to make more money is so short-term focused, and it is important. Don't misunderstand me. That's why it's part of this approach. But from that, we are evolving in step number 2 and 3, having, keeping, and multiplying more money. And that's really a long-term thing. But if you can't have a long-term focus, a long-term vision for your business, you will be stuck always in the question, how can I make more money? And that's what I always say. What happens is you're becoming rich broke. You're still broke, like broke on the inside, rich on the outside, with the shiny things. But there comes a point where this system is being very exhausting for you. It kind of feels like always starting from zero every month. And I know this. I know this because I've been there, that it was a normal thing in my world that at the end of the month, I had less in my freaking bank account than at the beginning. We live in a world that normalized that it's okay that you receive like your salary, your money, your income at the beginning of the month, and at the end of the month, it's going down. I'm like, hey, stop it. Let's normalize the month where at the end of the month, your income, your bank account is higher than at the beginning. Can you see? Wow, most people never even thought about this. How would that actually look like? And this is the power that we do in Manifesting Big Money Faster University. It's really navigating through all 3 steps, really not just the money component, but you learning how to shift from a super short-term instant gratification version to long-term version, long-term visioning. I shared this in the last VIP episode that I really changed my business model from high ticket sales and super close proximity to low and mid-sized tickets, and to almost no proximity, no live calls. And there were a time where this was very uncomfortable also financially. But if I wouldn't have had the vision of like, this is going to work out, this is what I want my life to be, this is how I want to show up, this is how I want to serve, I would have stopped halfway. But the moment we start setting up a system in which we keep the money we make and we multiply it, every euro matters, every dollar matters. It creates a different level of gratitude for the business, for every customer, for every money, financial amount that's coming into your system, even the money you find on the streets. So for today, contemplate, please. It's not about sales calls, yes or no, in your business. It should be. The question is, what lights you up? What excites you? What's fun for you? What nurtures you? What gives you energy? And this is the answer if you should be doing sales calls or not. I love you. You've got this. I talk to you in the next episode. And of course, if you haven't signed up for the VIP version to get 2 more episodes like this every week, I don't know what the matter is. Do it right now. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast Manifesting Big Money Fast. I've got 3 very important announcements for you. First, if you like what you're listening, make sure you leave some gratitude, leave a review, share the podcast. Second, if you love what you're listening to and you want more of that, there is a VIP version available. That means you will have access to 3 podcast episodes every single week. Simply check out the store, courses.richandhappiness.com, or the link in the show notes. And lastly, there are always monthly money activations happening around the new moon and full moon. If that is something you're interested, check out the store for the next money activation. I love you, and I can't wait to see your beautiful face soon again.